Good afternoon, everyone. It is Tuesday, January 23, and this is our last day. We have checked out of the hotel, but we have a few hours to kill before we go to the airport. So right now, I'm at the hotel's business center, and they have lent me the conference room to do a video for a few minutes. So this is probably Chris Take's flight last video of the trip, and I would like to thank everybody for following me, for all the comments, for all the likes. It was just it was fun and nice to share our experiences with you. So this video is basically kind of rundown, or because I know when I come home there'll be questions, what should I do if I want to do that. So this is what the video is about. So first of all, and I'm sorry, I'm wearing my reading glasses, so it's not anti-glare, so I can read my notes here. So number one, should you go? Definitely. You've seen the pictures. Number two, how much time should I spend? Well, I have to say that this was a very fast trip for us, and you could easily spend, of course, much more time. So starting, let's do Buenos Aires, at least 5 days. Chile and Patagonia, God, you can spend a week and probably not even see everything. We spent 3 days in each location. We only saw the highlights, not even all the highlights. So it's like going to the Louvre and only seeing the Mona Lisa, Winged Victory, and Venus de Milo. That's pretty much what we did. Definitely, if you have the time, spend more time. Same thing with Antarctica. As you know, we only had 2 landings. We only saw pretty much just one island. There are several other expeditions that will that allow you to land in different islands, and then you get to see more species of penguins, more species of seals, whales. So we only got to see 3 species: the Gen 2s, the chinstrap, the Adelie, I think. So we didn't get to see the emperor or the stone hoppers. Whales, they saw whales. By the time I got to the window, the whales were gone. So you'll definitely see more if you do more. Now, should you use a travel agent? Definitely. Everyone we met used a travel agent. And it is a complicated trip. And particularly in Patagonia, a lot of people don't speak English. And we spoke very little Spanish. And it's always nice to just have someone do plan for you. At least we were just told, okay, tomorrow be ready, you'll be back at 8 o'clock, this is what you're gonna do. But that being said, do your research. Obviously, we use a travel agent. I already spoke about Audi Travel. They specialize in tailor-made journeys, so that they don't do groups. They only do what you want, just you and whoever you want to travel with. They work with different kinds of budgets, so you just tell them what you want, where you want to go, what you want to see. And what I did, because I'm kind of OCD, so all the hotels that Tamata sent me, I kind of look at them one by one. One hotel I said no, so like there's a list of what we wanted. I wanted room service, I wanted a big room so you can spread out, so things like that, and they can tell you, like, you don't have to spend more than one night in this place, things like. So travel agent, definitely. Now, this is I know I'm going to be asked, what did I like better, Chile or Argentina, Patagonia? Well, I would say if you come here, you might as well do both. The drive between the two, I mean, they're really close to each other. At some point, they're 20 miles apart, but it actually took us 6 hours and not 3.5, like Google said, to cross from Chile to Patagonia. And that's because the roads were rough. You can't really drive fast. You have to go through Chile immigration, which is easy, and Argentina immigration, which is complicated. So we were in the car for 30-40 minutes while our guide, and this is the reason why it's important, took care of the paperwork. So I thought Chile was more rugged, but we did stay in a more rugged place at Torres del Paine, and we stayed in El Calafate, which is in town, which is kind of more touristy. And as you know, we went to Estancia. In El Calafate, it was touristy, while the Estancia in Chile was exclusive, and it was just us. But if you're gonna come all the way here, see both sides. Everybody we met did both sides. Again, guide. Buenos Aires, probably you don't need a guide. There are a lot of free walking tours. You can just Google things and things to do in Buenos Aires, and I think you can figure that out. Patagonia, definitely, because I didn't really know where to go. So like the guide at Torres del Paine, he knew where the important spots were. So you you didn't have to look around. It's like Yellowstone. When we went to Yellowstone, we used a guide because they knew where wildlife was, where the best sighting was and all that. Well, let me digress a little bit. Since I just mentioned wildlife, we saw a lot. We saw condors, rheas, which are kind of related to the ostrich, I believe. There were a lot of guanacos in Chile, which is the ancestor of the domestic llama. All kinds of birds. I can't even remember what they were. The one thing, though, that we did get to see that I wish, I really hope to see was the puma. So the most concentration of pumas in the world is actually where we were in Chile and Patagonia. But to track them, you have to put in the effort. It's a commitment. You probably have to go out in the morning or late at night, to track a puma, which can take hours. There was even a puma I heard around the hotel, but we never got to see it. And at night we were exhausted, and besides, there were kind of cocktails and dinner, so we had to give up the puma. So that is probably my regret. Didn't get to see one, but if I stayed longer, I probably would have. Connectivity. So I tried to work, as you guys know, but Buenos Aires, where I am right now, like any big city, very fast Wi-Fi. I don't think they have 5G, but it is LTE. But on the cruise, they had Starlink, so I was able to get on Wi-Fi. It was actually not expensive, but very slow. It took me probably 30 minutes to upload a 2-minute video. That's why most of the pictures you're seeing now are being uploaded in Buenos Aires. Same thing in Patagonia. Most of them have some Wi-Fi, but very slow. I tried to work in El Calafate, Punta Arenas, Ushuaia, but it was so slow. Like, try to read a sleep study, with that slow Wi-Fi. But at some point, I even had to use my phone's hotspot to do that. There was no cell service at all, actually, in Chile and Patagonia. So we were just using Wi-Fi at the hotel. Now, the one important thing, and this is the most important that I want to, say, is that because you've seen all the beautiful pictures, and every time I look, I research this trip, I saw the gorgeous views, all the amazing experiences, but what they don't tell you is how hard it is to get those pictures. This actually is not a trip for those who have problems with mobility, who have pain, problems with their spine, because number one, in Patagonia, pretty much none of the roads are paved. And we're not talking fine gravel, we're talking like big rocks. Like, it was painful, and we're talking hours. I think the shortest trip we did was 1.5 hours, and the longest was probably 5 hours when we crossed from Chile to Argentina on rough roads. You drive through rivers. It could be painful. It also gets very dusty. So I am not that I don't really suffer from allergies, but at some point I started coughing and sneezing. I thought I was going to be sick, but it was just the dust. So this is a very active vacation. We hardly got any rest. So like, having a longer vacation would actually give you time to rest. Like, we had the hotel in Chile was beautiful, and we wish we could just spend like one day doing nothing, but we did not have the luxury of doing that. Again, activities, same thing on the cruise. The Drake Passage was not fun. You had to have good reflexes, because you had to kind of hold onto something very quick when a wave hit. Going into and off the Zodiac is not easy, although there are a lot of people who come and help you, but still, you have to climb in and out. Just take that into consideration if you want to do this trip. So that being said, we had a wonderful time. We met so many people, so many Americans, because Argentina is very cheap right now. For the rest of the world, actually. So we even met people from New Jersey that I had mutual acquaintances with, New York, but from all different countries. So that was very enriching. Chileans and Argentinians are wonderful. I was impressed of how proud Chile was of their land and how big they were on conservation. So in Patagonia, both sides, you actually in most places, you cannot flush your toilet paper. You have to throw them in a waste can. Even in that fancy hotel we stayed in Chile, you couldn't flush anything down the toilet. Let's see. I talk about animals, and so we learned a lot. We learned a lot about history, geography, geology, biology. we are, it was a wonderful experience. So yes, you saw the pictures, but behind that, there's things that you cannot even, you can't show people. And one thing that that I realized how big Ferdinand Magellan is in this area. So his name is everywhere. He's called Fernando Magallanes or Hernando de Magallanes because he actually discovered Patagonia. He named Tierra del Fuego, I mentioned that, and actually I found out that he also named Patagonia. So it turns out the Spanish conquerors were shorter and smaller than the indigenous people here. So when they arrived, they saw footsteps, and the footsteps were big. So they thought they were the footsteps of big people, like footsteps of giants, hence the name Patagonia. So he's really big here. And what they don't know, and what you know now, is he was killed in the Philippines. So our guides didn't even know that. When I told a guide about it, she asked me, "So are you guys guilty about killing him?" I said, not really. And she said, he probably deserved it. But anyway, Magellan's coming to the Philippines started the 300-year colonization of our country. But that's what made us who we are. That's how it is. So anyway, goodbye for now. Thank you again. I may be posting some pictures at some point when I download my camera, if there's anything that's worth posting, because everything you've seen so far we're just taken with our cell phones. Well, thank you, and I will be back at work very soon. Bye now.